Hi, welcome everyone to Straight from the Paws. Today we have one of our old-timers, and I do mean old-timers.
That's for sure.
Joyce Pinsonnault. Joyce is also a board of director, and she's one of the original board members. That's why I'm calling her an old-timer.
I'm an old-timer.
You've been there for 27 years, Joyce.
It's not
27.
more. Yeah.
That's 27 years, officially 27 years. And Joyce is now officially our volunteer coordinator.
Right.
So that's what we're going to talk about today, is volunteering and how you can come to volunteer at the shelter. So you want to explain who's qualified to volunteer.
All right. If you're at least a freshman in high school and you need community service time for school, not for corps or anything else, but for school, we will take you. And age is no other issue down the other end. And we're just looking for volunteers who can help at the shelter doing, most of the time it's cleaning. That's what it's all about, making these animals safe and knowing that they're going to get food and they're going to get a clean environment to live in and that they're going to be loved and taken care of.
So the other end is basically we take them at 18.
Yes.
And part of the problem, which people don't understand, in the last several years, I've been working as a president of the board, working with our insurance agent and trying to get as much insurance and qualifications and follow all the guidelines as things have changed in Massachusetts, and we are up to par with that. We don't have any more problems with that at all. We never really did per se, but we wanted to update everything. So explain, like, when do you have your orientation? They have to come in for orientation.
Yes, I do orientation along with Kristen, who is the other gal that helps me. We do it the first Sunday of the month unless there's a holiday or something special going on for the shelter. I like people to get there at 10 minutes of 9 so we can start distributing the paperwork, and then so that we can start orientation at 9. I tell people to be prepared to stay with me until at least noon time. If you get out at 11, it's a bonus. It depends on how many people come to orientation that we can get out earlier or later.
And what's the number that they can reach you at, Joyce?
They can reach me at my phone, my home phone, and that's where I get calls to it, and my number is 508-679-3063.
And try to call during a decent time. I know we used to do that at our house, and people sometimes will call 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I mean, let's just say like from 8 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night would be okay.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. And if I don't answer the phone, just leave me a message. I get back to you in as much of a timely manner. Usually that day I get back to you.
And we do ask them to purchase a shirt that day, a volunteer shirt.
Absolutely, yes. And the orientation, I said, usually lasts from 9 until 12. You need to buy a shirt, and I like you to buy it that day and pay for it that day. We also take the cards, charge cards or cash. And then, because I like you to wash them before you wear them to the shelter.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And then from there, we've come up with a new program in the last year or so. We actually have some of our, I call them senior volunteers, and they are the trainers now.
Right. So I take volunteers for 20-hour increments, and out of those 20 hours, there is a 2-hour training period with a senior volunteer who will train you, teach you how to do dishes, teach you how to wash the floors, teach you how to sign in and out of the logbook, because you are responsible for, keeping your hours, keeping tabs of your own hours. You can't come to me at the end of if you've put in 20 hours and not signed in and out and expect me to give you paperwork, because it's just not there for me to give it to you. And again, there are so many different ways of volunteering too. I had a young lady that called me yesterday. She wants to volunteer at the shelter. She's only 13 years old, way too young to be at the shelter. But I said to her, when is your birthday? She said, oh, June the 14th. I said, that's great. How about if you have a birthday party with gifts, not to you, but for the animal? She thought that was the greatest idea going.
Yeah, and then like I was just saying to you a few minutes ago, depending on when she brings it in, stuff, the staff will always take a picture of her with all the items, and if she has some of her friends or closer friends, and the staff has time, or if we know ahead of time, we can get somebody there to do a tour, if they've never been at the shelter, to have a tour of the shelter and see what it's like. Yeah. And that's, we try to accommodate everyone. Yeah. And I think volunteers also, we're looking for volunteers also to work in, let's say, well, let me backtrack a little bit. When you're volunteering, you mentioned something about cleaning, and you said doing dishes and cleaning the floor, and everybody's like, so I know how to do my dishes.
Right.
We do things very differently at a shelter. Everything has to be cleansed.
Protocol,
and
right.
the protocols have to be followed. So it's not like washing dishes at home for mom and dad.
Absolutely not.
You know,
No,
everything's
absolutely
different.
not. And not only that, you do have some contact with the animals as well, and I think that's what most people want, is that contact with animals, because some people cannot have animals of their own. And another thing too, another part of volunteering too, is the Christmas tree, the Festival of Trees. We ask people to maybe put together a Christmas tree. We give them the tree, they decorate it, and there's at least $100 worth of materials under each one of the trees that we raffle off at the Festival of Trees, which is the first Sunday in November.
Right.
And baking for that as well.
Well, baking for it, and also like for events, like we're going to have a clam boil at the Oaks Club, and we ask people that if people want to, you know, donate a basket, a homemade, you know, a basket made. And I don't mean to sound rude, but I don't want stuff that's coming from, you know, oh, I had this, I was going to, you know, go give it to Savers, but I'll give that. We can't do that, and sometimes we have to, you know, give things back or just say no, I can't accept it. So that's important to understand. It's not that we're being particular, but you know, if you went to a raffle, you don't want to open something up and find out it had been used, or it's outdated or whatever. You know, I've got a basket, but all the food in it was dated 2 years ago. You know, that's not going to work.
We've had that.
And we do check it. I mean,
we do,
because we want our audience to, the people that are there that are supporting us, to understand. And we will be having our celebration of giving, and that's another thing too that we're looking for. And we call them volunteers, you know, but people that are willing to help us to maybe go solicit to bigger businesses, or if you own your own business and you're willing to give a big donation, we are looking for maybe bigger ticket items this year.
And
that's important to us.
And in the book that Jenny
we have a book
runs,
program booklet. You can put your, you know, your business in there, or a greeting to the shelter, whatever.
Or even putting a business card in and that sort of thing. So again, there are so many different facets of volunteering, not only at the shelter, but things that you can do on the outside as well.
Another one that we should talk about is transporting animals, pick up and transport.
That's a big one.
You know, this Saturday I'm going up to Foster, Rhode Island, because we have a dog at the shelter that's going to, it's called Vintage Animals Rescue. It's for older dogs. This dog is older and it's blind and it needs some really TLC. So we didn't want to put the animal down, and Ariana found a place, and they're going to take this dog. We could not find anybody to transport. So Bev and I are going to go and transport the animal. You know, you bring it. We're going to take our own car.
And vet visits is another
and vet
thing
visits. Sometimes we do that.
So much.
We do
people
sometimes
to do transportation of vet visits for our animals.
If you have a big SUV and you like driving, we also do transports all the way up into Logan Airport. We get some animals from Puerto Rico that come in. They can come in at different times, you know, and unfortunately they say they're coming, and all of a sudden the weather wasn't good weather there. You know, it was inclement weather halfway through, maybe in Miami, so everything's delayed. That's a little bit, you have to have a little bit more patience. I always bring a book to read, and I bring snacks, because I know that it could be something that could take me 2 to 3 hours will probably could take 6 hours.
Yeah, especially where the bridges are all messed up.
Well, in Rhode Island too, we haven't been going to Green, but we've been going to Logan Airport. So, you know, those are other things that you can do that's well needed. You know, and I mean, obviously I pay for my own gas, but if someone says, well, I could do it, but I can't afford the gas, you know, we could probably give somebody some money towards gas to help out. But again, once, and I'm always talking insurance, once it becomes an issue about driving an animal in your own car, it's under your insurance, and people have to understand that. You know, we're learning a lot of different things in the animal world, and we have to protect our animals as well as our staff and so on, and also our volunteers. So driving is important, and you know, I always say bring someone with you if possible. I think it's important to have 2 people just in case. I can remember one day, I think it was Bev and I and Ariana had to go, because Ariana was the first time or second time we were doing it, and we ended up getting caught in a thunderstorm, rainstorm. They forgot the animals halfway through. They forgot to put them on the second half of the jaunt, so we had to stay in Boston. We unfortunately ended up going to a hotel, having lunch, supper there, and spending some time there, because we didn't know when they would arrive. And when we finally got a call, like, I don't know, it was like 11 o'clock or something. We was obviously, we didn't have any change of clothing, anything was there. We left the hotel and brought them back, and we were able to do the transport back into the building, because when they come into the building, they have to go into isolation. And there's a whole protocol procedure you have to follow. So everything that we do has a lot of protocol, a lot of procedures that normally you wouldn't think about as, just an animal. Oh, I'm picking up my dog, yeah. But when you're transporting a whole bunch of animals into a shelter that already has animals in it, there are certain protocols you have to follow.
Absolutely. And then not only that, when you transport the animals like you do, sometimes they need a little break. They have to do their little pee break and, that sort of thing. So that even takes longer once those animals have been confined for, some time. The other thing I want to bring up too is like sometimes I get community connections and that sort of thing, or People's Incorporated that want to bring some of their clients in. And right now, because of the fact that we are held down because we don't have that much space to have more than one, person in per organization, it presents a problem to us. So at this particular time, I haven't been taking any people from any one of the places. And not only that, if they do come in at some particular point, it's going to be an issue about insurance as well.
Right.
So it's not that I'm being mean, it's just that right now we just do not have the space to accommodate those, those places.
I get a lot of the emails that come in for that, and I sort of take care of it for Joyce. And one of them just came in, and it was, I won't mention the group, and it was like, I have a group and I'd like to have some students come in and so on. And I said, fine. I said, one of the first questions I have is, what's the age of the students, and so is someone going to come, what's the ratio, because we can't have more than, 1 or 2 people, and then the worker. And then the next question was, and so far it was working okay. Then we got to insurance. I said, I cannot use my insurance to cover for your students. You have to see if you have the insurance. And then she got back to me and she said, no, our organization won't cover the insurance, but they suggested, and this was kind of funny, they suggested that you let them play with the puppies and the kittens and just entertain the puppies and the kittens. And I said, absolutely not. That's not something that's going to happen. First of all, as you've heard from the beginning, we were talking about, you don't basically work with the animals. And a puppy and a kitten are not well trained yet, so they're not going to, they're going to be turned around. They scratch one person that has something, very on their skin or something, we're in trouble. And we just can't do that. It's, we're protecting our animals as well as protecting the people. So I had to say no. But I did look into it. I didn't automatically say no. In the past, we've had programs, Tiverton High School, Portsmouth High School,
oh yes, that's
where
right.
they had senior projects, and when they had the senior projects, I was a mentor for all the students that had to come in. They had to work with me so many hours. They had to do projects, and we would work on that. And if someone's out there and has a National Honor Society project or anything, my email's right there. I'll get in touch with Joyce, and she'll
we've had a lot of them this year. We've had quite a few actually that are the seniors that need community service time because they're on either an athletic, not scholarship, but they have to have 20 hours or so, and that 20 hours we take them for 20 hours. Again, if at the end of close to the end of the 20 hours, if they like it enough, they can get in touch with me, and we can put them in for another 20 hours. So that's how sometimes it works. The other thing is sometimes we've had people that call in from organizations that want to come in and do a cleanup day with us, and I send them over to Gail, and Gail takes care of that to make sure that they're able to come in, that we can schedule something, because that's always welcomed, yard cleanup especially coming up pretty soon if we ever get some spring.
Yeah, I mean, it is well appreciated. So we have a lot of different ideas and things that go on at the shelter. We believe in working with the community. We believe in, paying it forward, and we believe in everyone helping each other. And we do think that volunteerism is very important. And I think it's good because, just very quickly to state that we had one girl that started as a volunteer. She now comes once a week, and she's our vet, and she helps us with the animals. And we have another one that's now at Tufts, that graduated from UMass Dartmouth, I think it was. No, New Hampshire, and now she's at Tufts University, and she's going to be a vet. So, you know, you get the experience with us and you can move on and do a great job.
Yeah, and Meredith as well.
Yeah, Meredith as well. So we've had a few of them. So Joyce, I want to thank you, and
I thank you so very much.
Thank you very
and,
much.
Thank you to all of you who have volunteered or are thinking about volunteering. Call me and I will get back to you. Thank you.